Hello everyone and welcome to the LSI F1.5 Championship. We're today for the EU Tier, the USA Grand Prix, the United States Grand Prix, the Codes of Grand Prix, the Austin Grand Prix. I don't know how many Grand Prix, but there's a lot at USA. We can get them easily confused as Brito just about goes fastest. I say just about 4/10 on the board. There are 33.6. Can we get towards the 32s maybe? That was the pole time yesterday set by this man, Zingy. The strategy, it's a little bit different, obviously, with the sprint races. The sprint race is pretty standard, but what's it going to be like for the feature race, and also how will the tyres react to the track like this?
Well, personally, I think maybe it will be a medium hard, and if people are running low enough tyre pressures and the weather's is a bit overcast, I think you could go medium hard soft, honestly, because it might be a bit wet, not wet, oh my days, it might be a bit cloudy, meaning that the tyres won't get as hot, but see, you're in the first sector especially, and the last sector, your tyres will be on the limit, the traction zones, the fast sweeping corners, you know, especially that fast turn right, turn 80 I believe, the right that mimics Turkey in a way, so you're going to really struggle in tyres, but we know that some people, Gilly, are very good at saving their tyres, so it'll just be a strategic battle, let's just say.
Yeah, I think it is very tricky as well, right? I find you have to use so low tyre pressures around the circuit like this that your tyres will just die anyway. So it's not as such or as much as about saving the tyres, it's about being able to handle the dead tyres at the moment. It's going to be pretty tough to get used to. We're about to start a lap with Cohen, if Zingy can take us through this guy who took a couple wins, or a win this season. Let's see if he can do it again as we are about to start it.
Yeah, Cohen's he's been doing very well this season, hasn't he? He's getting it somewhat consistent and got some good results. I don't know exactly where he stands in the championship. I don't really follow the championship, although I really should. But He can perform very well on his day. And speaking of performing, let's see how his lap goes. Last corner, you want to run wide on exit of the last corner. I said last corner twice, my bad. Onto the start finish straight. You want to open your DRS as soon as you possibly can. Do not touch the curb on the right hand side. Braking for turn 1, round about the white line of the pit exit. Coming to turn 1, you want to hit the apex and then run it out as wide as you possibly can. Now turn 3, you want to hug this inside curb. And coming into the X section now, you want to go left, right, do not cut it too much, otherwise you will get an invalidation. Nearing the first sector split now, Cohen, he is purple to the first sector. Cohen is the fastest so far, and coming out of the really... Oh no, he's invalidated. Never mind. Oh wow, yeah, that's how tricky it can be. Sometimes you turn the car and you can start to feel it oversteering a little bit, and then you have to kind of let off the steering, but that's what happens.
Yeah, easily done through the complex around about turn 9. Not easy to do. You're trying to really ride those curves as well as gaining the time. Sometimes they can be a bit tricky, so that's the nature of this circuit, unfortunately. You also have to preempt turning in at certain times if you want to be quick. And we have Robber, who's also on a lap not too far away from her, and actually they've got a couple cars in between. Is that Blake on the lap who will complete their lap very, very shortly? No, it's not Blake, it's the other AlphaTauri of Heisler, who we will watch on board and have a look when they cross the line. Then we got a Hartman and the 2 Mercedes. We've got Mizzy. They are a brand new driver for the EU tier, permanent driver as well, so looks good to see them. And we have a familiar face. Lukavo is back as a reserve driver today. They still score points. They have just left the session. Hopefully they can get back into this one. Not entirely sure what's going on, but they should be alright. Now, here we go. Heisler comes round the final corner. Bit of a mistake on the rear, but across the line they will go, and that is still a P2. That's a very good lap for that little mistake at the end. I wonder what that could have been. Gilly goes up to P4. We have the 2 Mercedes coming across the line. Mizzy goes P6. Robbo, where do they put themselves? P2, immediately taking Heisler down as they go about a tenth quicker, just a bit over. So lovely stuff there. We have the other AlphaTauri of Blake go round again as he pushes himself back up to P2, and then that was Lepic into a P8 position, 34.7. Blake, closer to Breezer now. This could look pretty tasty.
Yeah, the track definitely is ramping up now as the session draws on, but Breezer, as the initial lap time was very good apparently, setting a 33.6, which is actually quite competitive, especially for F1 standards. He would get a quite good positioning in the starting order. And yeah, he just set a lap time that no one can compete with. He's like Sebastian Vettel in a way, smashing out a lap and then just, well, not in the pits, obviously he's going to try and improve because people are starting to catch him. Coming for the first sector now, and he's 1/10 up, so he does find pace. He has got pace in that Ferrari to really pull out the bag. Coming out of turn 9 now, you don't want to go over the curb too much, otherwise you will invalidate. Coming now into the hairpin, you want to brake around 16 metres, get the car turned in. You want to not brake and turn at the same time as Mizzy crashes out in the third sector, a very common thing to do. And now coming onto the back straight now, DRS enabled, ERS fully deployed. Flying down the back straight at almost 200 mile an hour, braking around the 100 metre board. You can cut the inside here, some drivers know, some drivers don't. Breezer opts to not cut the corner, which isn't really a corner cut, it's within track limits. And he's up on his time again, but he's not improving by as much as he would have liked. Now, the last sector, this corner is very traction focused, and he gets a very good exit coming through the fast right-hander. Mimics Turkey in a way, as I said, a very iconic corner. And coming into the last few corners now, you want to ride on the curb, not too much though, unless you'll bottom out otherwise. The last corner now, you want to short shift up to 4th, get a fantastic exit. And he's set a 1:33.5, and that's pole position at the moment.
Lovely stuff. Blake's not out just yet. They're going to try and come out again very, very soon to have a look at pole position in their home race. Is it going to be possible? Tommy Gunn has already set a lap. They are a P4 at the moment, so Ferrari looking very strong. Back in Hungary, they were in a 1-2 position. Unfortunately, Tommy Gunn making a bit of a mistake, so Tommy just needs to make sure that he's there and doesn't make those little mistakes like they did on the restart of that safety car, of course. The rest of the grid so far, of course, we've got Robbo in P3. They have pretty good pace. They race yesterday. They didn't complete the feature race, of course, because they were actually DSQ'd because of a wheel issue. They just weren't able to actually input any controls, which meant the game just thought that they were sat there for no reason. But Robbo, in the sprint race, showed very, very good pace, got an amazing move on Eager Pro. So I think Robbo should be pretty good in the race. They just have to wait and see. Of course, time will tell. Overtaking not too easy around a circuit like this either. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. This man is always something to look at. The straight line speed on this guy in the well, kind of Tesla, if you like. It's an American car, but you know, he's in P6 at the moment. His straight line speed is usually absolutely mega. Around a circuit like this, however, it's pretty high downforce dependent. So will we see Gilly struggle a lot here, or will the lower downforce setup help him massively? There are some very, very long straights, but I would say if you can't get good runs in the cornery sections, you're going to get absolutely sent, and it might not be that much worth it. But time will tell to see if it actually works or not.
Well, I think personally, I'm going to go against what you say here, and I think he's going to pull it out of the bag and get a good result, because you've got some straights. You've got two main straights. You've got the back straight, which is a long one, and you get the front straight, which obviously has DRS. I mean, also was a back straight as well. But Gilly, around those fast corners, of course you need downforce. But if he can just keep it smooth, only lose like 2, 3, maybe 4 tenths, he will be able to claw that back, if not more, in the straights, and he'll be an absolute devil to overtake. It would be absolutely torturous. You really don't want to be beating Gilly. And I'm not saying he's slow, but his straight line speed is something, well, for other drivers left to be desired.
Of course. Gilly is about to start a lap right now. Let's watch on board and see what they can do. Currently sat in P6, as we said. And we're not going to go and see what the straight line speed is, just to keep it private until the race, of course. In the race, we will go and do that. But up the hill, here we go, into turn 1, using that elevation to slow the car down. Now on exit, aim it towards the outside, not over the curb though. It's pretty tricky if you do. Keeping it as tight as you can, possibly on the right-hand side. Minimise the track distance, left, right, left again. Now slightly on the brakes here, and then once again, now back on the throttle. Very light braking, trail braking through. Up the hill we go here. Keep it wide on the left-hand side, then bring it to the right, up the hill, and onto the curves. We saw some people get pretty close to the track limit. Some people extending it. Gilly gets it pretty well so far, trying to get as close as to the apex as they possibly can. Now up the hill they go, DRS available, just waiting for the next hairpin. Now this hairpin has some very, very chunky sausage curve on the inside. Don't take that the wrong way, but you just have to try and cut it as much as you possibly can. They do miss it a little bit, but still, that's for safety reasons. You can still get a pretty quick lap time and keep it tidy if you just miss it. Now aim the car in the straight line once again to the outside here. Trail brake through. Now release off the brakes. Get the car turned in now towards the fast right hander. Once again, everybody bringing it really far left, which means that they have to bring it all the way back to the right, which personally I wouldn't do. I'll put it in the middle of the circuit and then bring it right, minimise the track distance as you do in this game. They get through the next sequence of corners pretty cleanly. Ran the final one. This is, as I said, the most difficult corner of them all. Get a bit of a squirmy exit, but still, that is a P6, a 34.1. They will not improve position-wise. But yeah, as I said yesterday, the last corner, I would like to kind of say might even be the most difficult corner of the entire circuit, just because you are about to finish the lap and you really want to just get it down, and it's so easy to just get a little bit too greedy on the throttle.
Yeah, in the race experience, some people really struggling with the last corner. I don't know who this thingy guy really struggled with it at some parts during the race. But oh, Cole's gone pole! Oh my days! He's at a 1:33.4, which is a 10 faster than Breeza, but Breeza, he needs to respond. He's currently 500 up on his lap time. He's maybe getting a little bit of slipstream from that Aston Martin ahead. I'm not sure exactly who that is. It would be MGS. He pulls out of the way in second sector. He's a 10th up. He's purple once again. So, will Breeza get pole position, or will Cohen snatch it away from the Ferrari driver? Coming into the last sector now, you really need to get the power on early there. Roll the car through. Coming into obviously the really fast right-hander. Your tires will be screaming at this point. The penultimate corner, you can't see it, it's blindsided. And now into the last corner, the trickiest one, as you said. You can't really ride the curb too much, otherwise you'll get an invalidation. You can't go wide on the exit. Coming up to the line now, and Breeze has got a pull! He's got a pull! He snatched it away once again from Cohen. These guys going back and forth, but Breeze with a 133.3 puts it on pole. Heischler does not look like he's improving at the moment. I'm not sure about Robbo either. So I think pole position is Breeze's, and it is.
Yeah, Blake wasn't able to challenge. They retired on the fast right-hander, unfortunately losing it at the last few moments. Tried to get across the line, they will not improve anyway. Robbo doesn't look like it either, but still a good effort. Breezer takes the pole position at the end by 1/10, steals it back. Cohen struggling to set a lap time the entire session. They set their one and only lap time at the very end, and they look at that pole position. Of course, it was worth a shot, but the race is right there, and P2 isn't exactly terrible to start this race. You can, I think, have the inside into turn one, or is it the outside? I think it's the inside.
Yeah, inside.
Yeah, inside corner. So it's not the worst place to be. Might be a bit of a blessing in disguise. They got both AlphaTauris behind. Yes, Heisler is a fellow out. Oh no, it is a reserve driver. Sorry, but they are the other AlphaTauri, and they would probably be keen to give the other AlphaTauri a little bit more leniency and work together, because they're allowed to do that. And obviously, it's nice to have a bit of a friend on track where you can, if they can help each other out. Now, we'll wait for everybody to go into the pit lane so we can get the results up on the screen, and then we will get ready for the sprint race, ladies and gentlemen. The first sprint race of the season for the EU tier. It's going to be a good one, I'm sure. Now, let's see those results. Breezer takes pole position, Cohen in P2, and then Blake in P3. This is the rest of the grid, and then we'll skim through the rest of the results just in case, or the race director, and we'll be back for the race. We'll see you in a bit. Go! Who's going to get it into turn one? What's it going to be? The Williams gets away well, and they will take the lead. And they're going to cut the Ferrari off. The Ferrari will just sit behind and pray that nobody else sends it. The two Mercedes collide. I don't believe it. They had pressure behind. Cars off at the back. There's ghosting everywhere. The two AlphaTauris managed to phase through. But that was a crazy start right there. The front two are running away with that one. I think Robbo's just about got away with it. They did, but Mizzy struggling off the start as there was contact between their teammate, and Blake gets a 5 second for gaining a place. Might be able to get that removed after the race, but for now that's going to cause them some big problems if it comes to the grid position for the feature race. I don't quite know what happened there. We've got the Haas having a look on the inside of Tommy, as Tommy didn't get the best start either. I think they went off the circuit at turn one. Lots of tricky moments there, but Cohen leads the way.
Yeah, Cohen got an absolutely electric start into turn one, and then two Mercedes, just like 2016, they collided. But luckily for them, they haven't lost too much time. Now Blake is waiting for a move on Heischler. I don't think he made it too difficult, him knowing Blake is in a championship fight at the moment. Mizzy actually got off to an alright start. I'm pretty sure gaining a few positions, if I'm not mistaken. So he's been doing quite well so far. Obviously, Blake with that 5 seconds, but I'm pretty sure that can get removed. Zora up 5 positions. He'll be absolutely a buzzing about that, although he's going very wide and off track, and he's already got a penalty. He's got a penalty, and there's Heisler spun. He's in the penultimate corner. It's caught him out a little bit, the blindsided corner, and he's spun. And now he's going to be down to almost last. MGS is ahead, but he needs to come into the pit lane, so he must have some damage.
Not ideal. MGS got involved in a couple moments at the start of the race there. Of course, on the exit of turn 1, it got very difficult. Some people just ghosted completely. I don't know what was happening. Maybe there was some connection issues or something, but there was the initial contact with the Mercedes, and more problems for Mercedes as, oh, Mezzy's round, on the exit of turn 2 as they just narrowly avoid the cars coming behind them. But Mizzy's going to have to make a pit stop. That's not ideal for them. Hopefully they can get back into this one. They can still get some sort of quality position, but that is not ideal. MGS in P14. Cohen leads the way on lap 2. DRS isn't available just yet, so they need to try and extend here and see if they can maintain this. Robbo wants to have a look at Blake already, which is an interesting strategy. DRS isn't available yet, so they could lose the DRS train here by doing so. He's having a really risky strategy. He wants to get the move done, as Blake will take it for now. Is Robbo going to try and send it on the inside? I don't think he would. It's not worth it. But now both of these guys have lost that DRS train. So Robbo, I don't know if that was the smartest idea at all. But this is Vale in P5, not quite close enough to be in that train. But yeah, Blake not going to be happy with that one. However, Breezer and Cohen are loving that.
Yeah, well, we noticed from the F1 race that the track position was very vital. We've seen that some people were able to pull away, especially after getting in front of someone else, not because the other driver was slow, but maybe their car had more pace in the clean air. Now coming on to lap 3 now. Lap 3 of 10, DRS is enabled. Cohen is pulling away just a little bit from Reed.
Gilly, sorry, sends it on the inside at turn 1 on Zora. Bit of contact there, but Zora will maintain the position just about. Gilly trying to make everything work. They're looking forward to the DRS, of course, with their usual straight line speed domination as a very bad sequence of corners for Zora. They're not ideal. That will allow Gilly to catch back up, but it's just not on the right place of the circuit. Now, let's see. Breezer going to try and look for the lead here. Will it be possible? DRS available. It's a long straight, but it's not going to be long enough if you're that far back. Blake does catch up to the train. Robbo, however, he's lost a lot all of a sudden, so there's been an issue there for Robbo, as this is Vale has been able to catch up massively for that one, so not entirely sure what has gone on up the front, but Gilly will have a go round the outside. The other Haas is on the inside of the Ferrari. 2 moves going to be possible, and there's contact between the two. Gilly's going to lose it, and Lepig, I don't know what just happened. He's going to be really upset with himself there. Tommy can't get past, but Gilly has just lost a position after trying to make one. I don't believe it. That was not intentional, but Lepig has managed to somehow make that through, and Zora maintains their P6.
Yeah, Zora's managed to escape the DRS of that, but Lepik just dived on the inside and missed Josh's braking point, and now he's lost almost DRS, but he's caught up to it. Zora's caught back up to DRS, and now Tommy is right behind Gilly. I mean, he's not going to get the move done realistically. Gilly's going to be launched right into the path of Lepik, hopefully not literally, for their sake. Coming into turn 1, Gilly's not going to go for a move this time. He thinks smarter of it. Tommy almost hits right into the back of the Haas, maybe thinking that a dive bomb was on, but wasn't at that moment. Looking in the back at the front, Blake is actually closed up. The gap is now 4:10, so Blake seems to have a lot of pace in that car, although his light was temporarily flashing, meaning that he is low in the RS for the moment, but we don't know if he's going to get it back anytime soon. Now coming onto the straight, the gap's 9/10 between Breezer and Cohen. Blake is up nice, close and tight with Breezer. Will he try to go for the move? But at the moment, it looks like the Haas is, not the Haas, the Ferrari is absolutely storming down the straight. Blake's got nothing to reply with, and he's going to have to stay behind for the moment.
Robbo and Lisavelle splitting or switching around each other as Lisavelle does make that move. They're a hard-to driver, so Robbo doesn't need to fight, so they're still struggling a little bit off the start. I don't know if there's contact or something.
Sorry to interrupt you here, Aaron, but Lepic's gone for a move down the inside, and another Haas of Gilly and Tommy are side by side. Also, Gilly is going to cut Zora off, Tommy off, and Lepic is getting ahead of Zora. And Gilly's been spun! Gilly's been spun by Zora! No, Tommy, sorry. Gilly's been spun by Tommy, and he's down into P12. I don't know what happened to it there, but it's going to be investigated. But now Tommy's almost lost the DRS. Zora goes incredibly wide. This is not IndyCar, this is F1. And he's... Oh no, actually, the DRS zone is before the penultimate corner, so he didn't get it. Tommy not getting the DRS that he desired, and having that incident with Gilly, that is not ideal whatsoever.
Really being bullied around the circuit a little bit there, not being happy with this one. They still have a race to do, and they can get an advantage for that one. Lukevo is actually a ghost car, so I don't entirely know what's happening with them. I just wanted to double check that that is the case, and actually Gilly's retired on the exit of turn 1, and the safety car has been deployed during the sprint race. That is a weird one. Looking at the top runners, they're not going to make a pit stop. There's not even a need to make a pit stop. Unless you really wanted to go for a set of soft tyres and try and make some positions for the start of the feature race, you're probably going to lose more than you actually gain. So for the top few drivers, they're just going to stay out. It's not worth the risk. For everybody on the bottom half of the race or at the very back, they're probably going to try and go for maybe a set of softs. I think Mizzy could give it a shot, of course. And they're back now into this race. So yeah, pretty hectic few laps. And Gilly, after the contact, maybe their tyres were just way overheated. They've had one issue after another, and that's now caused them to get a DNF.
Well, I'm going to say something here. Robbo is 9 seconds in front. Blake's pitting. This is Vale's pitting. It's caused a chain reaction in the pit lane. Blake is pit, and Robbo goes for it, overtaking the pit lane. Oh, but he can't make it sick. I don't know if that's legal or not, and I'm not going to ruin the fun, so I'm going to say for now it is legal. He almost saw Sebastian Vettel onto the soft tyre now, as a lot of people are coming in. Tommy decides to stay out, but Zora comes into the pit lane. Ego Pro also stays out. Look at... Oh, he's in the I car, I'm pretty sure. My apologies. MGS, I'm not too sure, and Mizzy, we'll just have to wait and see. But a lot of people going on to the soft tyre is... Zora's waiting. Oh, he had a 5 second. My apologies. He must have had a 5 second for some reason, and that's why he's waiting. Warming up those tyres. Blake's down in P10. Robbo P9. And this is field 8th. They've got around about 4 free laps to go when the safety car comes in. But will it be enough?
Yeah, I don't know. How on earth did... oh, wait, no. Blake had to serve that 5 seconds, so they've had to get that. Well, it won't be removed after all that, so they're going to have to make all the moves instead. Robbo does have a time penalty. We've got Heisler up ahead, who does have a time penalty. So by bunching up the entire grid, it's going to make it more difficult for those guys to get involved. But the risk that you have is you have to re-overtake lots of cars ahead, and you're going to be behind the cars ahead, and there's going to be lots more who could possibly be involved in an instant, and you might end up collecting them. So... yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting to do. We won't be going racing until lap 8, the start of lap 8, of course. So we'll have to wait for Mizzy and MGS to catch up. Mizzy, interestingly, on that medium tyre, which is a bit of a risky strategy, of course. We only actually get one set of mediums per race, and if you go on to the other set of mediums, you will use that set that you would need for the feature race. So Mizzy could be in a bit of trouble later on. Benjamin joins the session. They will be with us for the feature race in the McLaren car, of course. Lovely to see. Actually, they won't choose which car, but they will still score points for McLaren, so just keep an eye out for that one. When it comes around, they will start P15. That is, interestingly, a couple cars around as Robbo... No, it was Robbo making a move as they go back into the pit lane to serve a... No, they had damage. Damage to somebody. So who they were behind was... This is Vale. Did they make contact when they tried to go for that overtake into the pit lane? And the game didn't maybe serve... didn't change their wing? I don't know. It's possible.
I'm not too sure. Lepic backing off, deciding to let people pass. I'm not too sure what's going on. Something seems to be going on because Lipix went off track to let people go. He's rejoined a bit dangerously there. I think there might be a bit of a glitch. I don't know. What? You've seen this, right?
Yeah.
Not just me.
So they're obviously letting people go, but letting everybody go, and then all of a sudden not letting certain people go and just causing some big issues. I hate to say it, but Lepic might get a bit of a penalty for that one. If you're gonna get a penalty for overtaking somebody, you kind of have to just take it and investigate it after the race.
Aaron, I've discovered that he has damage. There's damage to the front left end plate of his wing. So that's why he was letting people go. Although quite dangerous the way he done it. I can understand why, but there's still going to be some chat about that because that's a little bit dangerous, but we can understand.
Nothing you can really do at this stage of the race, of course, with damage. You have to just stay out, safety car in this lap, and we will have 3 laps of racing under our belts. 1 lap of DRS at the very end as well. Let's get it, Kern. We'll go for the restart. Very, very close between the two, as that was, I don't know, I'm not even going to actually mention it, well, unless it gets reported, of course, after the race. But anyway, Rita will be the one to react to the Williams ahead. The Williams had a really good start to the race. They're waiting for that safety car to go into the pit lane, and they want to try and go for a sneaky start, I reckon. But there's a long way to go, especially around the fast right-hander. They can't get themselves caught out. It depends if they've got their tyres warmed up. Safety car in the pit lane round about now. There you go. You can go whenever you want from now on. Walker and go for it before this corner. Is he going to go out of it? He's going to go out of it, surely.
Oh, no.
On the throttle, and he's gone for it. Contact behind maybe, but Breezer does react pretty well. Zora gets a 3-second time penalty. Tommy reacts okay as well, but everybody through. Eager Pro actually jumping up as well. Lovely stuff from them. This is Vale leading the medium or the soft tyre runners. There's no one really making an overtake, but behind there's the Mercedes, who are very, very close to one another. The Alpha Tower Aston on the outside, I should say. Both Mercedes, once again, so close to one another. The Aston didn't capitalise on that after all, so they had to back out all of a sudden. And what the hell? Robbo makes the move on Mizzy. Mizzy's had an issue.
What a move by Robbo. I don't know what happened there. But he's went straight around the outside. I know he's on soft tyres, but that was the most calculated move I've ever seen. This is Vale makes a bit of a mistake. Blake moves up, Zora moves up, Robbo now moves up into P7. And the soft tyre runners have a good start, and here comes Robbo! He's gone down the inside! He's gone down the inside of Zora, what a move! And he's now up into P6, but now he's going to have both Alfa Romeos and his slipstream using the ERS, deploying literally everything. It's going to be 3 wide coming into the 3rd sector. Who's going to be latest on the brakes? It's going to be Robbo, but he's went too late. He's done too late. No, he's not actually. He's kept it. He's held it around the outside. What a defence from Robbo. But here comes Zora down the end of his teammate after being pushed off. This is Vale going back down the inside. I can't believe this. There's a bit of contact made as he loses the rear. And Kaishlar's also lost the rear, but Zora's retained position, I believe. No, he's actually lost position to Robbo. And, he's going a bit wide there. He needs to watch out that he doesn't get a penalty. What a few the corners are racing. That was absolutely phenomenal from those 3.
Very good stuff between those guys. Soft tyres are working a treat. Blake trying to make these work. Maybe even could go for a possible win. I think it might be a little bit difficult to do that. At the moment, Tommy, he has to make sure that Blake doesn't get to Breezer. As Tommy is losing a bit of time to the top 2 ahead, although the top 2 are very, very close. Breezer's trying to set himself up for that DRS zone, of course. They have to save and manage their ERS because everybody will be on 100% battery straight off that start. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting one on the last 2 laps as we are on the penultimate lap of the race. Blake will have a look here. They want to get a good traction zone on those soft tyres and spam that DRS to make a move. If they want to have have a go at the lead. They have to make it now and then hope the top two slow each other down. But no, Tommy is absolutely rapid in a straight line. Blake will not have the chance just yet. They're going to have a look maybe in the corner sections of the circuit, and they actually are going to have a possible look. They're just going to see as they go for the send on that softer. They know they can make it work as Tommy has to react, and he's through. Might go for this win, possibly. It's going to be tough, but it's possible.
Yeah, Blake on those soft tyres, they're not even dying off too much. He will have the pace, although he loses the back end a little bit. He's struggling just a little bit on the temps, probably. Coming on to the last lap now. Cohen leads from Breeza. Blake absolutely hounding these guys in third place. He's going to give them no quarter whatsoever through the last corner to obviously start the last lap. Cohen still in the lead as DRS has been enabled into turn one. There's not going to be any overtakes here unless someone is Daniel Ricciardo breaks and absolutely sends it. Blake just needs to be patient, let the tyres do their magic and overtake when he can. Oh, but he's made a bit of a mistake. He can't be doing that out of turn one, but the soft tyres are so grippy that he actually gained a bit of time whilst making a mistake, proving that the tyres are absolutely on fire at the moment, and I hope I'm not speaking literally for Blake. Now coming into the middle sector, he's absolutely all over these guys. They've got nothing compared to him. Now into the hairpin, will he make an absolute send on Breeza? He's going to have to. And he does! He's gone for the send down the inside! Breeza has nothing to defend with on the tyres. He squeezes him onto the curb with the ERS enabled now. Breeza gets a little bit of a better exit because he's got more ERS, I'm pretty sure. Now coming into the last sector now, Blake has got basically nothing left on the ERS. He sends one down the inside once again. No way he's going to make it stick, but he doesn't. Coming into his favoured overtaking spot, Breeza does not give him as much room as Tommy did, and he can't get the move done. Those tyres starting to die off, and he's gone for it again. Oh my goodness, Blake is absolutely savage with the moves, and he's made it up into P2 cleanly, dive bombing them at every possibility he could, and he has. But coming around the last few corners now, I said this guy earlier on, he's good when he's out, he stays out of trouble. And through the last corner now, it's going to be Cohen who wins the sprint race here in Kotas. Blake at his home Grand Prix, he's going to get second, and Breeza in third as Robbo loses a few positions on the line there, which is unfortunate, but that's what happens sometimes. What a last lap, by the way, from Blake.
Very, very good stuff. We knew it was going to be good, but I didn't think it was going to be that good. Absolutely sends. It was a risky few manoeuvres, but he seemed to be willing to take it. I know Breeze is going to be furious, but really can't really say too much. It was just about fair. There was no contact. But yeah, lots of people not happy with Blake, unfortunately. I could see it happening. Of course, he had that tyre and he knew he had the confidence. That is Kern taking the win for the sprint race. Blake in P2 and then Breeza in P3. We'll scroll through the rest of the grid, look through the race director, and once again the game doesn't give it to us, and we will be back for the feature race. We'll see you in a bit. Ready? Hold. Go! Who's gonna get it? Will Blake get the advantage on the inside line? No, he won't. He bogs down. And that is the Alfa Romeo on the inside. Cohen gets a brilliant start. 3 wide into turn 1. As this is Vale. Has to let go for the P2, but on the outside line. Still gonna try and make it work. Are they really gonna go side by side? No way. Blake backs off in the end. Has to give the position up. Not worth the fight. I didn't expect that one to happen. Breezer down to P4, of course. This is Vale getting such a good start, and actually they don't seem to be that fast in the corners. They seem to be struggling a little bit as Blake makes the move immediately back ahead. Now this Vale will try and get a switchback once again on the inside line. The switchback will be once again available to Blake. Will he be able to get it though? There's yellows off at the back as Breezer, Tommy Gun and MGS all have issues off the start, unfortunately. Didn't see what happened there. Blake might have a go. No, they won't, but look who it is. Robbo has come back and he might have a go switching it to the inside, going for the dummy. Said Blake, if you're going to send it like that in the sprint race, I'm going to try and do it to you. Round the outside line he goes now, break his leg, he can't contact, makes a mistake. Zora having a look, but no, not quite close enough as Robbo just about keeps it together.
Yeah, Blake got an absolutely horrid start. It's the worst scenario for Blake after finishing P2 in the sprint race. He really just couldn't get the car off the line very well, and he's on the medium tyres. Robbo seems to be also following the traditional strategy, which I found very odd. But he got a very good start. He was quite far behind coming into turn 1, as obviously Blake was having his issues. And he managed to catch up as Breezer goes for a move on MGS as he pulls into the pit lane. I believe he had an issue with his front line, I'd assume. Coming on to lap 2 now, it started to calm down just a little bit. I see that Mizzy looking for a move on Eichler, but nothing at the moment. But this is Vale. Excuse me. This is Vale is very close to Cohen. Cohen looked to have all the pace in the sprint race, but with this heavier fuel load, he looks to be struggling just a little bit. Vale coming through now into the hairpin. Will he look for the move down the inside? Battery deployed. He looks inside just to give him a little bit of fear, a little mental game going on there, but he can't do anything at the moment. Looking for it back now, Mizzy's very close, although he makes a mistake.
Sorry, a switch through for the top 2 as this will go for the lead of the race, and Cohen is probably just going to have to let this one go as he's just absolutely rapping in a straight line, and also he's a high tier driver, not worth the fight for Cohen as he doesn't want Blake to get any closer, of course. They're both on the same tyre though, so as long as they have the upper hand on the pace, then they should be able to stay ahead, but we know Blake is very good in that braking zone. Robbo isn't able to get any moves as you saw further behind. I think it was Mizzy who was close to Heisler, maybe, was it? Is he trying his best to get through the field, but issues at the start of the sprint race or during the sprint race. Now they do have a second chance here to try and get through the grid. Everybody's pretty close and DRS isn't available, so it's so difficult to make a move at this stage of the race, but it will get slightly easier very soon.
Yeah, coming down into turn 1, I seen that Lepic was quite close to Mizzy on those medium tyres. He's going to have to make advantage of them at the moment. Is Zora defending from Igor? Is that's Gilly getting overtaken by Ben? The 2 championship contenders battling for P10. I wouldn't believe it. Wait, what happened to Breezer? Sorry, I'm unbeknown to this.
I think they spun around turn 9-ish, 8-ish, something. I don't know if there was contact or if it was just the moment on the throttle.
Oh, wait, speaking of being on the throttle and being a little bit clumsy, here goes, this is Vale, he's in a powerette, and he's dropped all the way down out to the point, although Gilly's been blocked, and he's off the DRS. That's not his fault, he can't really do much about that, this is Vale, he's just trying to recover.
Not ideal.
Zora is going defensive from Ergo Pro down the inside, and now Heisler is going to the outside. Free ride once again for these drivers coming to the last sector. I can't believe it. Ergo Pro gets the move done, but Zora War with the faster, fresher, but you know what I mean, medium tyres, going right around the outside into one of the best overtaking zones on the track. Aisha's gone absolutely mad wide, and he's almost been spun around. Now Mizzy's going for the move on Heisler as Ben's almost spun, and he has spun. I think there might have been contact with Lepic there. So it's all kicked off in the midfield. Mizzy still looking for a move on Heischler looking for a move on Mizzy, sorry. Into the last corner, he can't do anything. Now onto the straight, Eager Pro's got DRS on Zora War. And the same goes with Heischler on Mizzy. Into turn 1, he's going to go defensive. Heischler going to go right around the outside. He can't do anything, but he's going to get a switchback. But he can't. Mizzy covers it off very well. And he's still in P6 for the moment.
Great stuff between these guys. Unfortunately, Lepic spun. Benjamin kind of followed them. That was after, I think, Lepic made contact with the car ahead, got off the throttle, then got back on the throttle and spun themselves out. So not an ideal there. Eager Pro trying to get through on Zora here, but obviously as a higher tier driver, they just have to take caution and get it done at a safer opportunity, not worth sending it on the inside. We have Blake, who's going to have a look maybe at coming for the first time. No, they will not, as they are 6 sets behind. They do have the DRS, and that's good news for them. Is Cohen on that harder tyre? No, he's not. They're both on the same tyre, so Blake Averill will be right there.
Sorry to interrupt you once again here, but here comes Eager Pro on the hard tyres down the inside. He locks up the brakes a little bit, goes a bit wide. Zora tries to go for the switchback, but Heischler in the background has sent it on Mizzy. He really needs to get ahead this time. It looks as though he's got the pace. Zora's made a mistake, and he's blocked Heischler, and he's got a bit of damage. No, that is not what you want to see. Oh man. Mizzy had to slow up, and so does Zora, because he made a bit of a mistake, and Heisch, he's... Oh, that's unfortunate. I don't know what to say. Vale's round. Heischler's got some damage. Vale's round. It's not a good lap for the driver so far. Oh man, don't know what to say.
Heischler cuts across to the pit lane. Very, very sudden, so luckily there's no issues. But this guy, Gilly, and also Benjamin have just made positions very, very slowly. And they've managed to keep out of the carnage as Ben has a quick look to the inside. Weirdly, Gilly leaves the space. They are on the disadvantaged tyres, and they will let Ben go. Not entirely sure what just happened there, but they did just leave the space and let Ben actually go for that move. And they're also going to be challenged by Breeze if they're not careful. Already they're going to be challenged by Breezer, and Gilly is just absolutely eaten alive there, just right onto this lap. I don't know what just happened. It was just kind of a domino effect, as there's a mistake there for Lepic at the back. Not ideal. The top 3 are actually pretty spread out at the moment, as wow, that is pretty late on the brakes for Gilly, as Benjamin has actually made no, that's Eager Pro, sorry, who's lost a position there, backs off, lets Gilly go. He's probably going to have to let Breezer go as well. I don't know what quite happened there for Eager Pro, but they're battling up ahead earlier on, so maybe something happened there. But it is what it is, nothing we can dwell on right now. These guys in a good train. Benjamin leads it, and he's just got to try and push on to catch up to the guys ahead, because otherwise Breezer will slowly catch up. They are on that harder tyre, so they will only get faster from now on compared to Eager Pro.
Yeah, Benjamin leading that train by 7, 8 tenths. Ben's absolutely flying. He managed to get ahead of Gilly, and now he's showing his pace. Zora keeps on going wide to that final corner. He's not gaining time, although it's not ideal. He really seems to be struggling around that part of the track, maybe with overheating issues, or just drivability issues with the car. I'm not too sure. Coming into turn 1, he goes defensive, although Ben is 1.1 seconds back, which I am very confused about. But you know, maybe some mental games going on there, maybe try to throw Ben off, question his own sanity maybe. But coming through into the fast chicane, left, right. I'm not trying to sing a song there, I'm sorry. But yeah, Ben's really quick. He's managing to catch Zora by at least, well, 7 tenths. He's all over the back of him now. Coming into the hairpin in a few moments' time. Will Ben go for the move? He deploys the ERS, but decides, nah, I'm going to back off and wait for the straight. Or is he? Oh, and he's made a bit of contact as Tommy's out. Tommy's crashed just before the hairpin. Will that be a safety car? Yes, it will, thankfully, because I was losing my voice there.
Yeah, Benjamin didn't make the move in time, so they're going to end up losing a possible move there. But Breezer will, well, lose their teammate this race. Tommy Gunn was very, very close to Gilly, but they also had, this is Vale right behind them as well. Then they went off, so I'm not entirely sure what just happened there. But that is, unfortunately, Tommy Gunn not going to be scoring any points today. yeah, that's that one done. Curran will lead the way as they not going into the pit lane. On lap 6 as... Oh, Blake goes for the bit of a fake. Robbo decides to go for it though. We know he's very creative on these strategies. He's going for the hards, I'd assume. No, softs it says. Softs it is. He's going to go for a set of softs, and then I don't really know, unless you can use the other set of the medium tyre or not for the feature race. It might be an idea. If it's possible, I don't quite know. But yeah, the strategy is going to be mixed up completely here. Robbo leaves the pit lane, and they're in P6. They haven't exactly lost that many positions, and they're right behind Breezer, who's pretty quick. And Breezer is on that hard tyre. They're not the lead car on the hard tyre, however. Mizzy is. So Mizzy's in a great position. They've just got to make sure that they try and keep Robbo behind for as long as possible. But from what we saw in the sprint race, those soft tyres for the first couple of laps are absolutely amazing.
Yeah, this strategy is really mixed up. Obviously, you got people going to hard tyres being safe to the end. You got people like Robbo on his, we'll call it his strategy speciality. Because he always seems to go for something different, and it always seems to magically work out. I don't know how he does it. Don't know. Never asked the guy. But he always seems to... I'm sorry for repeating this phrase over and over again over the last few races, but he just manages to find a way through. And maybe these alternate strategies, people need to look at it and be like, maybe I should try this, because it's working for Robbo. Robbo's finding a way to make it work, so why can't anyone else? I'm not doubting Robbo's ability here. But I'm just saying, if it works for one driver, why not work for all? Why are some people going to the hards when they can maybe go for a softer tyre, be faster, and get track position? I'm not too sure. I'm not one to question people's strategies, but Robbo just seems to be different in a way, and it works. So, what's your opinions on that?
Yeah, I mean, the timing of this safety car, it's not too bad. Of course, the soft tyres don't really last that much longer, and he starts on the medium tyres. The medium tyres will have to pit within when it gets to around about lap 12. So by the time we get to around about lap 12, he will also need to pit. He might have even pitted maybe even a little bit before that. So he'll still have a pretty good pit stop window. I just want to double check that time penalty is a 3 seconds. So they didn't speed into the pit lane. That's good news. Yeah, it's actually a pretty good timing pit stop for him. Of course, hard tyre is the more standard way to go if you make a pit stop at this stage, because you, in theory, won't need to go again. You will probably be quite slow later on, though, and your tyres are going to be pretty dead. So, Robbo, he'll be able to get some good position, even though he was already in third position. I don't know if he'll be able to get towards the lead positions and then make a pit stop. But for the likes of Benjamin, who's pitted onto that set of hard tyres and will be released eventually when everybody ahead of him pits. Breezer actually and Mizzy, I should say. No, what am I saying? No, it is Benjamin, because he's just pitted, so he won't have to pit again. But it depends. What I'm trying to say is, how much time will he lose for the cars ahead, of course, if they slow him down?
Yeah, obviously people with different tyres, length of tyres, life, yes. Different in tyre life, so Ben will be actually kind of fast on those hard tyres. I know it's weird to say hard tyres being quick, but on those hard tyres are a couple lap younger, than the top 5 and some other people just in front of him, like Gilly. Gilly hasn't stopped, and he's never mind. I'll stop waffling. Safety car in this lap. We're about to go racing once again. Is Cohen kind of brake checks Blake there? I'm not sure what was up with that. So yeah, safety car in this lap. Here we go.
Once again, another pretty strange braking manoeuvre from Cohen, so they've got to be really careful with that, because they almost brake check the entire grid. They can slow down slowly, and they've done it again and caused even more issues. So Cohen's going to be investigated after the race for that one. That is very, very weird. I don't know, and I hope that nobody got damaged from that one. But Cohen, if he's going to slow down, he has to slow down gradually, not suddenly. You can go any point from now on. The safety car is in. Will he floor it here? Yes, he will. Lovely stuff. Blake reacts pretty well. Not too bad for Blake there. And we know he's very, very good on the brakes, so Blake has to watch out. Mizzy on that hard tyre. They're going to be just managing the damage limitation. However, we have Robbo. He can't make a move just yet. He's just going to have to wait side by side with the Alfa Romeo and the other Mercedes. And oh no, Robbo's round! They go off the circuit and losing the rear. That's very, very weird. I didn't expect that one at all. They don't get damaged. They manage to save it somehow. But yeah, Mizzy, Zora, Blake actually loses the position to Zora. Zora's made that move. They've had a really good restart there on that medium tyre. So Blake has had a bit of an issue. I really don't hope so. But do they have damage from the contact under the safety car?
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there at the start. It's all sorts of chaos, and Robbo losing the back end on those soft tyres. I don't know, they wouldn't overheat. Maybe he just overestimated the tyre a bit. As there's absolute not carnage, there's just a lot of manoeuvring in the midfield as this Avail goes for the move on Benjamin. He's got absolutely mental straight line speed. Zora's made the move on Blake. Blake's going off wide. He's off into the pit lane and he makes a dive! So, oh my days, Blake's making a dive. And he's not in the soft tyre, so he can't really do that anymore. And oh my goodness, what has happened there? Blake's wing is off completely. This video went for a very... Oh no, oh it's getting nasty, oh dear. That's going to be looked at after the race. It's Breeze and Ben make contact and Breeze is out. Oh... I don't know what's happened there. I think you just got a bit squeezed coming to the last corner. Safety car's out. I mean, yeah, we need to just calm down a bit. This is an absolute mess at the moment. Wow. I'm not trying to sound offensive there, but that was a bit mad. So this gives everyone a chance to just take a breather once again and rethink their strategies.
Yeah, I'm very confused at what's going on right now. We've had a couple issues from some drivers doing the same thing over and over again, and we've had issues from a couple of the higher tier drivers, which is extremely strange. Yeah, I do apologise for this. We'll have to just look at it afterwards. Nothing I can do, but yeah, really frustrating because it's going to cause us lots of problems later on.
Well, let's not gloss over that right now. Let's talk about what happened, really. Ben, he's on the medium tyre. Now, the medium tyres can go the distance of 18 laps. They'll be on about 75% if they were doing 18 push laps. So he'll be on about 70%, I'd say, by the end of the race. But I don't know if you remember, but round about when the mediums hit like 12 laps, 11, 12 laps, they start to really die off. An F1 race. So my thinking is that Ben will have the pace. He will have very good pace. He's on the best tyres on the grid. Robbo's tyres aren't going to be as good anymore, so Ben's going to be the fastest, along with this Avail. But towards the end of the race, he may have a little bit of a gap at the front, but that's going to come down eventually. So Ben's looking really good here, from crashing out with Reza, one of his championship rivals, to potentially looking at a really good haul of points for the championship. It's a really good strategical battle, and I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah, this is what USA is going to be. Strategy is absolutely mad, especially, of course, with the setups. Depending on what setup you're running, you can have a lot harder tyre wear times. We've got both, that is Robbo and Zora, into the pit lane. Zora does speed into the pit lane, interestingly. Kern still has the lead, and Mizzy also, of course, and Gilly as well on that hard tyre. Robbo wasn't hoping for this safety car. They were hoping that they could have stayed ahead and then pitted, but now, because everybody's bunched up, they will lose all these positions. So yeah, not ideal at all what is going on. Sorry for all the issues.
Yeah, sorry, I was muted when I was trying to say that. Ben pitted for those hard tyres, which are 3 laps old. I don't know why. Maybe he knows something that we don't. I reckon he could have probably made it on those medium tyres and been quite fast. But, you know, I'm not going to question the championship leader. He makes his own decisions, and I believe that this is obviously a safety option. It might not be as fast at the start, but nearing the end of the race, now that I look at the tyres and what everyone's on, this actually might be a better strategy, if not just a little bit worse than the mediums. So Ben's really thought about this under the safety car. He's keeping calm, relaxed, focused, and really making the most of everything that's happening around him. As Lepic nearly spins on the safety car with warming up those hard tyres. You don't want to be hitting the wall on the safety car. That's not only embarrassing, but that'll lose you a lot of time. Anyway, I do believe the safety car will be in at the end of this lap, which you need confirmation at the start of the third sector, which is just around this corner, and it should be around about now. Yep, safety car in this lap. Cohen leads from Mizzy, Gilly, Luca and Lepic, the top 5 positions at the moment. Top 4 haven't pitted, everyone else has at least once, so most of these guys are going to go to the end, with the exception of Igor on the medium tyres, who might not. Anyway, Cohen, he needs to watch out that he doesn't do it for a third time, because his little antics could get him a few seconds worth of penalties. He seems to be keeping up the pace this time a lot. Maybe he's trying to get some temperature into those medium tyres. He can go wherever he wants. You said after the safety car comes in, but we know from the Zingy way that you don't really care about the safety car. But it's safer to go when it's in, and it's in now. He's gone for it. He's gone for it. That's a really good restart from Cohen. He's caught Mizzy a little bit off guard. And in turn, Gilly has got a very good restart. He hits the sausage cubs, Mizzy. Coming into turn 1 now. Cohen's got an absolutely amazing start. Mizzy warming up his tyres, and no one can challenge behind. So at the moment, Cohen's leading into turn 1. But this is Vale. It's gone for the move on Benjamin. He's hit him off track. Ben's been hit off track by This Is Vale. That's the second person he's collided with. Now him and Robbo are having a battle for P9, and Robbo's done it. Ben getting pushed off track, and Robbo makes the most of it. Into P9 he goes.
Lovely stuff. Ben backs off. He prefers to take the race longer than give it up straight into turn 3. It wasn't worth it, of course. They have a lot to play for, and we know their pace was pretty good earlier on. Their racecraft is usually very good. They're very consistent, and I'm sure they can get further up the grid shortly. Egapro not getting the best start of all time. Cohen does get a very, very good start. Mizzy can't keep up with these tyres, although Cohen will be coming towards the end of their life on that tyre. We have Heischler behind. No, never mind. It is just the Ghost car that I thought was going to make an overtake, but it's not. Heischler is in P5 now after all of that, so good news for them. Zora, This Is Vale making the move on the Ghost car, of course. Lovely stuff for those guys. And then we have Robbo, Benjamin and Egapro. That is the grid right now. Cohen will be coming into the pit lane within the next 2 to 3 laps, I would say, and maybe even 1 lap. So 1 to 3 laps, I would say. Not yet. So they're probably going to come in the next lap, if not the lap after that. That is the standard pit stop strategy for a set of medium tyres. Robbo would be... No, not Robbo. Lukavo, who is the Ghost car, would be the only one to follow that. And they do actually follow the strategy, as they are an AI. So Cohen will be the only one who hasn't pitted yet on that medium tyre. And then Mizzy eventually will take the lead of the race for a little bit. Lepic actually up to P3.
Yeah, the Haas's are looking very good at the moment. Lepic actually swapping places with Gilly into turn 1. Them two, swapping positions, as I said. Gilly just doesn't seem to have the performance on the braking. Maybe the lower downforce setup isn't doing them favours at this race, so maybe my initial analogy of... my initial understanding was wrong. I thought that Gilly would be a bit faster, but he seems to be struggling a lot, although his tyres are a bit older than everyone around him. Now, onto the back straight. It's a bit spaced out, actually, at the moment. Not anyone's close enough to overtake. Maybe Robbo, if he uses a bit out of his battery, but he's very reluctant to do so. So, into the braking zone, no one's going to go for the move. They're just going to stick behind for a moment. Robbo has a look, but to no avail. He can't do anything at the moment, so he's just going to have to stay behind. And there's a bit of a train forming behind Gilly, so maybe it might not be even tyres. He may have an issue internally with the car. I've suggested that a lot this race, and it's because the car really needs to be set up, so maybe that's issues. Oh! Heischler spun! Oh, the really fast right-handers caught him out. on those old hard tires, and that's not ideal whatsoever. Oh,
Gotta be careful.
that's unfortunate.
They're sat on the racing line as Eager Pro is approaching, so Heisler might be getting a penalty for that one as well. They need to respect that there are other cars on circuit, so lots of drivers kind of being a little bit distracted by all the heat today. So yeah, we've got to make sure that we keep on top of that for future races. So Cohen leads the way 1.8 seconds now as he doesn't pit again, so he's really trying to extend these so he can get one fresher hards and maybe even wait, see if there'll be another safety car that might get deployed. And that is Riga Pro retiring from the session as a side-by-side with Heisler. So hardly battling between both of those guys. And into turn 3, Riga Pro is off. So they've exited turn 2 side-by-side.
Sorry to interrupt, but here comes this Vale. He's been in the wars today, a bit aggressive, but on his teammate he keeps it nice and smooth. And
it's a virtual safety car, yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
Okay. So this Vale made a move, and now he... what's going on? I think the leaderboards are glitching out a bit for me. My apologies. We're fine.
I think some people have either not seen that it's a VSC, they might have a bug, or they're just trying to... they might have been side by side and then wondering if they had the position or not. There is a bit of lag, unfortunately, on the... in the game at the moment, or in the lobby. We'll have to look at that one later on. This is a good time for Cohen to pit. He'll gain some time. No, he decides not to, and it actually does restart immediately. So they still want to go further into this race. I would like to see after the race what happened to Eager Pro. Not entirely sure what went on, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, that is what it is. But into turn 1, first of all, before I say anything else, no one going for a move, which is understandable. But my thinking is, Aaron, rather than hard soft, is Cohen going to extend it to medium soft? Because he's went too far now. He's went more laps on the medium tyres than he will on the hard tyres. That's fact. So he might actually be going for the soft tyre near the end. So that's a very alternative strategy. As Ben almost loses the car, just keeps it under control, but that's his chance to get someone Robbo gone. This is Vale looking up the inside of Gilly. Gilly goes a little bit wide, but nothing happening so far. Gilly with a straight line speed. Let's be realistic here. This is Vale's not going to get the move done. He's just far too quick in his little Haas Tesla sponsored car into the almost hairpin now, and he doesn't do it at the moment. But Messi's struggling on those old tyres. Obviously, he does have to pit. Probably going to do the same as Coleman, going into the soft tyre at the end. So at the moment, Lepic is actually... No, I'm not going to say that just in case, but you understand what I'm trying to say. I don't want to jinx it.
Yeah, he's in a very good position at the moment. Really having to not go defensive, but have an interesting situation going on. Zora once again exceeding those track limits and going into the pit lane they go. So let's see what they're going to do. It's going to be the hard tyre. They're just trying to extend it as much as they could. I think they're probably waiting for a safety car, because I didn't realise there was actually going to be so many safety cars in this race. Cohen tried to take advantage. He still has a good gap from that restart. Of course, he wasn't exactly slow, and he had Mizzy, who was on some pretty old hard tyres. Mizzy now will have a bit of trouble here. He does lead the way, but DRS will be available for Lepic and Clean Air as well. This is Vel made the move on Gilly and Robber as well. In the process, has got himself a time penalty. He has got past Zora, however. So interesting a situation going on right now between the entire grid. Lepic will have a possible look at a move right here. DRS available. They're catching. They will go for an overtake. It's just, will they go left or right? They're going to go to the right hand side there and go to the outside line. Go the long way round. Is it going to be possible? No. Mizzy holds on for now. Lepic can't find the space, but they will have the inside line here. They're going to send it as contact between the two. This is Val has a look, but No, Lepik's gone for the lead of the race. Mizzy tries to take it back on the inside line. He goes off the circuit. He has to go round the bollards. This is Vale's made the move on the Mercedes as they go round the outside, somehow making it work. They go off the circuit a little bit, so very, very creative right there, but they've made the move, and that is Lepik leading the way once again, creative with these track limits as Mizzy decides to make it a pit stop, and on lap 16 that was pretty interesting stuff between the entire grid and their choice of track limits. This is Vale is going to have a look on the inside as Lepik goes for the inside very, very late. Very, very tricky to do such a thing. This is Vale's going to have to wait until the next DRS straight in order to make an overtake, but they're very, very close at the moment.
Yeah, this is absolutely scenes here. Everyone getting pushed off a bit, elbows out a bit too much, maybe. But I mean, that's some good hard racing from the top three. A little bit of contact, which will be a bit questionable. But these things happen sometimes. And now Lepik is in the lead of the Grand Prix on those hard tyres. Only 10 laps old, so he will. He'll make it to the end on the hard tyres. Especially with all the safety cars, he should be fine on tyre wear. But now coming down the straight, he's not going to have anything to defend with against this is Vale, although he pushes him far to the inside. And this is Vale. We'll get back to the racing line just about. Lepik locks up. He locks up on the curb, but he can't. His teammate Gilly can't and decides not to do anything silly. As Zora's made a mistake, and there goes Benjamin around the outside and into P5. Benjamin also in a good position. Although Zora heads back down the inside of Ben. Ben decides that he doesn't want to clip the bollard, so he goes around him and keeps P5. Although Zora goes for the switchback and he spun out of his own. There was no contact between Ben and Zora. Zora just lost it because of his grip. It looks as though his hard tyres might have been overheating a bit, or I'm not too sure.
I
but
think
Zora's
that's just
round.
the racing line, the angle that you take. If you make any sudden movements and tight movements to the inside, you will spin. So unfortunately Zora will lose out a lot, and that's going to be the battle over. Benjamin is nice and close, though he has a bit of clean air before he catches up to the guys ahead. Robbo trying his best to get through. We know that he's been quick. We know that he's been really quick, but he just hasn't found the good opportunities to make that move. Since that safety car, of course, he actually demoted himself from P3 all the way down the order, and so far he hasn't been higher than he is right now. So if he can get past Gilly and Lepik, then he'll be in the lead for the EU drivers. Lepik is still leading for the EU drivers at the moment, and believe it or not, it is a Haas 1-2. I never thought I'd say that in Formula 1, but it is a Haas 1-2. Now, Robbo, very, very close, going to try and focus on the throttle here. I'm sure they're going to give it a possible shot as Heisler retires in the pit lane, so no problems there at all. Robbo is closing in, but I bet they're having to use a lot of energy to do so. Almost contact, but he gets a really, really good mid-corner and on the exit as well. Gilly has the inside line, going to try and fight it as hard as he possibly can. Now he'll have the outside line, might have the momentum, but this time Robbo will have that inside line. Is he going to be able to get a better exit as they head to the right-hander? No. Robbo will make that move, and he's up into P2 for the EU drivers.
Oh, but he spun! He spun going out of turn 18, I believe. And it's this fast right-hander again. It's caught everyone off guard. Robbo looking for a potential race win there. One of those fresher tyres, but he's just messed up a little bit. And now Benjamin is going to be all over the back of Gilly on those fresher tyres. So these guys battling from P10, and they're going to be battling for P2 now. These guys have worked their way up the grid together. Well, not helping each other, of course, because they are championship rivals. But now they're battling for a podium position. This storyline in this race is amazing. Wow.
Pretty hectic for a USA Grand Prix, that's for sure. I know we've had some pretty good ones in LSI in the past, but nothing as crazy as this one. Take it as you will if it's been a good hectic or a bad hectic. I think there's been a mix of both, obviously, and all the people that do capitalise on it will have a great race, so I'm sure that will be something to listen to. Gilly going from last to currently third, and Benjamin as well, who's right behind Gilly. These two guys are competing for the championship lead here. DRS available for Ben, so he'll have an advantage here. Gilly can't really do much about it. On the inside, Ben will go E-I-E-I-E-I-O, but no, brakes a bit earlier, which is very, very strange indeed. Now they have an inside line. They're going to send it on the brakes there. Bit of a wheel bang, and Gilly has to go off the circuit. That was pretty unnecessary, I will say. Ben literally just gave up a position to then do that. So, yeah. Gilly's not going to be happy with that one, but that is the championship leader into P3, if he likes it or not.
Benjamin went for a bit of an aggressive move there. I would say that's a bit questionable. But he's up into P2 now. This race has been absolutely mental, and that's definitely not the worst of it. So, yeah, I mean, as I said, these things happen. But Ben's up into P2. He's got 1.7 seconds to Gilly as he had to go off track, and you kind of just lose on the throttle because on that surface it's very slippery. Speaking of slippery, Gilly's losing the back end. Now I want to ask him, did Gilly pit on lap 1? I'm gonna check. No, he didn't. So Gilly actually hasn't made a stop. So I'm waffling as my game seems to be broken. Oh no. It's showing me the race results from the sprint race.
Not ideal.
Zor's tired.
Interestingly, that's a safety car. Are they in the pit lane if they retired? Or if they retired on the exit of turn 1 into the wall? I'm not quite sure. Zora is out. They are into the wall because they're not moving in that pit lane. We'll get Zingy back into the lobby very, very shortly. I do apologise for all the issues, but that is a safety car, and Gilly has been absolutely saved. You know, they're going to be pitting onto a set of, I guess it's going to be softs. It's going to be softs. The thing is, the rest of the grid will also do the same thing. Now, this is Vale is going to lead the way. I don't think there's really any other opportunity. You will just pit for that soft tyre. Everybody's going to do it, surely. Lepic will pit. Benjamin, he will pit as well, and Gilly is about to do it as well. Interestingly, Robbo goes for the overtake before the pit lane entry, and they've actually paid the ultimate price by crashing into the pit wall. They haven't got damage, but they're going to be in big trouble. And Gilly is actually waiting for Lepic. I thought they might do that, and that's maybe why Robbo made the move. But Lepic was so far ahead, there wasn't actually really much of a need for them to do that. So I'm not entirely sure what's gone on there. But yeah, Gilly will just about maintain that position. Lepic is still in the lead for the EU drivers. Gilly's gone for the medium tower, weirdly enough. Lepic on the soft tire. Benjamin looking for a possible win here from the last position on the grid. P15 to P1 for the EU drivers is quite possible here. Gilly also in a very good position. Cohen right there as well on that soft tyre after making that pit stop, of course. He's back in this, but he's got some work to do. So those safety cars for Cohen have been extremely unfortunate. The Williams are not going to be happy at all. Robbo having to go onto the medium tyre, and they had a pretty difficult pit entry, unfortunately, for them. And then, of course, Mizzy rounding off the grid at the moment. They're a bit further back, but they will be able to get back into the race and on a good strategy as well. Now, when we'll be going in, they're pretty close, but I don't think we'll be going in at the end of this lap. It's going to be the next lap, so we will go racing on lap 23 out of 28.
Yeah, I've noticed, as you said before I joined, I heard that Gilly and Robbo were on the medium tyre. Lucas AI, I mean, that's irrelevant, it's AI after all. And so everyone's on softs with the exception of Gilly and Robbo. I do not know as to why. Obviously, some people will have used tyres, but I'm guessing most of the people will have used tyres if they've done free runs, with the exception of probably Ben, as he didn't do qualifying or feature race. But I don't really usually question Robbo's strategies, but I'm starting to wonder why. Why did you do that? I'm questioning it.
So we're going to have about 6 laps of racing, plus a few laps of tyre wear under the safety car. Not too many. It won't be that much. But The temperatures might be there. Maybe that's the thinking, but I will say they did, of course, make a pit stop in the sprint race. They also have been on a couple set of soft tyres as well, so they might not actually have a set of softs left. That's the most likely option compared to overheating tyres. Gilly, however, on the other hand, they might actually be thinking about overheating issues instead, so they're preferring consistency. They are in P3 at the moment. But yeah, Robbo, it's kind of understandable why he's on that medium tyre, whereas Gilly, not really sure.
Yeah, Gilly maybe going for the medium tyre because, well, maybe he's just thinking those soft tyres will overheat and he'll have an advantage later on. As the sun, can we just mention the sun is out, there's a bit of light cloud sprinkled around the edges of the track, but that's not going to do anything to really help. The sun's going to be beaming down on those tyres, making them very hot, meaning that these people on mediums might have a chance in the later phases, but they do need to hang on to the soft runners, obviously at the start. Meaning, basically what I'm trying to say in short is, Gilly needs to keep up a good pace for about 3, maybe 4 laps, and then in the last 2 or 3 laps he needs to really push and make a charge, and so does Rob, of course.
Yeah, for sure. Lepik will lead the way. We're about to get a safety car restart, of course. For the EU drivers, at least. They'll be the one to react to the safety car, and Lepik will be the one to react to the Sisvale. So Haas in a very good position. They've got 6 laps of racing to try and maintain and possibly get a win here. We'll have to wait and see how it goes. Gilly, I think, was the last Haas to win back in Imola, and that was that last season? I think, yeah, it was last season, so it's been quite a while, almost over an entire season until the next Haas win is possible. So we'll have to see what's going to happen, or Benjamin is going to try and look for another win. It could be very, very possible. Lepik leads the way. Right behind. This is Vale. Vale's gone for it quite late, but it still worked nicely. Like a charm, Benjamin very close. Might have a look as well, actually. Into turn 1. He will. On the brakes to the inside. Send it up through. And lovely stuff. He'll have a good opportunity. It's just about the exit. But no, Lepik goes onto the curb. They're going to lose it. Gilly has also lost a lot of time. And Cohen's going to be right there. Luckily for Lepik, he won't lose anything. A 3-second for Cohen as he goes very, very, very wide. Not entirely sure what was going on there, but Lepik is very, very lucky to have not lost any more positions than that one. Benjamin leads the way, might try and look to escape it if he possibly can. Lepik needs to try and hold on until that DRS comes available. Cohen getting a good restart, but Gilly struggling on those medium tyres. They are incredibly bad around this circuit. Then we have Robbo and Mizzy further behind, trying to careful for position, and yeah, Mizzy is probably going to be pretty quick. They're actually going to have a go at their teammate on the inside line. They will make the move on that soft tyre, almost out breaking themselves and almost hitting Gilly, and Robbo does decide to give the position up and let Mizzy go and try and make that move on that Haas car, and you never know, they might be able to gain.
Lepik's round!
Oh, no. Lepik going from the lead for the EU drivers and now down to the very last place. That is P7, of course, as they do make a bit of another mistake with those hot tyres. But Lepik, such a good position, but it just didn't quite work out. That is what she said. Benjamin now will inherit the lead, and they don't have much pressure at all behind. Cohen has clean air up ahead, but a 3-second. So they do still have a chance at looking for a win here, but they're going to have to be absolutely rapid.
Yeah, Cohen, with that 3 seconds, saying he has to be absolutely rapid. Maybe he just needs to take his time, be a bit patient. Because Gilly's on those medium tyres, Mizzy on the softs. They will be faster, but remember the soft tyres do overheat very easily, and being behind Gilly, and that very bad dirty air, it's going to really affect him. As he's already kind of understeering, you can just see in his steering inputs that he just can't really turn the car in. Now the gap's 2 seconds, meaning that you only, maths obviously you only need to gain 1 more second, but that's easier said than done. Coming onto the back straight now, DRS will not be available until the lap prior to this one. And here comes Cohen on Benjamin, coming into the really slow right-hander. Ben does not get phased too much by Cohen's appearance, but yeah, he keeps the position for the moment. Cohen can't really find a way through, although he would be choking to get away through. Sorry, that was not the best way to describe it. But now the gap's 2.5. Here comes Mizzy down the inside of Gilly, and he's made a bit of contact. That was a little bit silly. That rhymed. My bad. Coming into the last few corners now. Yeah, no one can find a way past. They need that DRS. This is Vale taking a fast lap, absolutely dominating, although he is an F1 driver, so that's to be expected. And coming on to lap 25 of 28, it's 2.5 seconds of gap. Now, this is round about the last lap, if not the lap after. The soft tyres will have the advantage. But Gilly, I think he's made a grave mistake here. Honestly, those medium tyres, they're fast, obviously. But the soft tyres are far quicker, although Mizzy's struggling yet again. Look how wide he's going. That's not what the soft tyres should be doing. And you're seeing the guys up front who aren't actually struggling too much with turning. So this dirty air is killing Mizzy's tyres. And now Robble's getting back into it now. So the medium tyre for Robble, absolutely amazing. Gilly with that lower downforce and the harder tyre compared to Mizzy. It's not going well. DRS will be available. Cohen is going to go for it on Benjamin. I'm going to guess it's going to be the same with Mizzy and Gilly. Cohen goes down the inside of Benjamin. It's a late move by Cohen, but he takes the lead of the Grand Prix. Benjamin looks to go back down the inside. He doesn't need to do this. There's a bit of contact. Ben almost grinds to a halt because of the contact, but Cohen's up into the lead. There is 3.5 laps to go. And Cohen needs to pull at 1.7 seconds. That was a bit questionable from both of them there, but there's nothing we can do at the moment. Robbo right behind Mizzy. He's going to have to be careful because, as you remember, he did make a mistake here earlier on, which nearly cost him everything. He could have been out of the race. But coming onto the straight now, everyone's a bit more spaced out. It's Mizzy! Mizzy goes a bit wide, but nothing can be done at the moment. The order stays the same.
Not into turn one, you're not going to have a move. The start finish straight is way too small unless you're really close. Now, what is happening here with the soft tyres is that the high-speed corners, the tyres just melt and you can't get an advantage. You even have to lift to actually make a corner, whereas on the traction, the soft tyres do have still at the moment a slight advantage. Maybe not now, I don't quite know, but usually on the traction, the softer tyre will have the advantage when you go from a slow-speed corner, but in the high-speed corners, it's just dead. As we could see last lap, Mizzy did get a very good exit compared to Gilly, but it just wasn't there when it comes to the final sector. Now he's gonna have a decent exit, not as good as Gilly. Gilly, as it comes to the final few laps of the race, they will be able to push, and actually Robbo is going to be not frustrated, but they're going to want to try and get closer very soon. This is Vale leads the way by 6 seconds. Cohen in P2, and then we have Ben 1.4 seconds behind. He just needs to stay within 3 seconds of Cohen at the moment. Right now, they're doing a very good job to do so, and then Gilly in P4. They've got a fair bit of a gap between them and the cars ahead. They're still looking at a podium. They've just got to make sure that Mizzy and Robbo don't get close enough. Obviously, Mizzy doesn't have that time penalty, and they do actually catch quite a bit there. Robbo does have the time penalty, so they don't necessarily need to worry about the fellow medium tyre runner.
I don't know what happened to Cohen, but the gap dropped drastically through that turn 18, the really fast right-hander. Ben's back in DRS now. Gilly is almost within penalty range, if not definitely in penalty range. I think it's just a couple tenths off it. So Gilly's looking for a P2 here, if he's fast enough on those medium tyres, which I think this might be the crossover point. Benjamin in the dirty air, he's struggling like all hell, but Cohen ahead of him is struggling with oversteer. So if Ben struggling with the fronts, Cohen struggling with the rear, Gilly will be more than happy to eat chunks out of that time, but Mizzy is actually still finding somewhat of a good pace on those soft tyres. But you're starting to see the lines forming. The tyres, here comes Robbo down the inside of Mizzy. Is a very late and ambitious live down the inside, but that was never going to work
Benjamin
out.
going to have a look here on Cohen for the lead of the race. It doesn't really matter, but he's still going to have a go at it, and he'll break as late as he possibly can. Cohen will be around the outside, so the space has to be left. Now have the inside line. He has the advantage here. Benjamin's still trying to carry the momentum. He'll be able to get on the throttle a little bit earlier and easier. Now have the inside line himself. A switchback is available for Cohen, and he will get a lovely one. What a move there for Cohen. Benjamin, strategically though, he will still main that DRS range, so he will have the advantage. But yeah, that's a pretty crazy move there. Ben trying to make it work. He doesn't even need to risk this, of course, with the time penalties, but he still wants to have a little go if possible. Gilly just catching up as these guys battle, and of course the two Mercedes battling behind. He's also gonna catch on those guys as well. 6/10 is what splits them. No need to actually fight, of course, with that time penalty. So Mizzy has just been a little bit compromised by Robbo, their teammate. Robbo needs to remember that he does have that time penalty. So yeah, unfortunately not looking ideal for them, but currently Benjamin is trying to look on the final lap of the race for the lead. Is it going to be possible as they head through sector 2 now? Getting that run is what you really need before you get to that DRS zone. Not that close. He just needs to get a good exit point, brakes as late as he possibly can, sends it, might compromise his exit, but Cohen gets a bit squirmy on the exit. No ERS available for either driver. It's just DRS as they go down the straight now, down the back straight into the hairpin. What's it going to be? To the inside he goes, and Cohen will try his best to do what he did last time around on the last lap, and there's a little bit of contact. I don't know what just happened there. I don't think that was Cohen's fault. I think Benjamin was just on the curb and lost the car a little bit. Cohen will take that position. Gilly's really close here. They could possibly have a look at a win, but it's just a little bit too far away, of course. And Benjamin does make the move. Cohen's made a mistake. Cohen has made a mistake on the final few corners. Benjamin will come round the final few corners after all of that, and he will take the win from the last position on the grid to the first. Benjamin wins the USA Grand Prix. Cohen will take P2 across the line, but Gilly will take it in time penalties. Cohen P3, P3, 4 for Mizzy, Robbo, Lepic, Lukovo, and this is Vale, of course, overall taking the win for the USA Grand Prix, excluding the EU drivers. Well done to this guy.
I just want to say, I know he's dumbed the mood down, but Cohen let Benjamin go. He backed off and let Ben go, obviously feeling bad and feeling as though he had robbed Ben, and let him back through, which is a very sportsmanship thing to do, although the stewards would have dealt with it. But anyway, take it away, Aaron.
This is Vel takes the win, Benjamin P2, and then Gilly in P3. Cohen takes P4, and that is, there you go. We're going to start again. This is Vel takes the win, Benjamin P2, and then Gilly in P3. We've got Cohen, Mizzy, Robbo, Lepic in P7, and then we have a Luco disconnecting in P8, and then DNFing was Zara Heischler, Iga Pro MGS, Breezer Blake, and Tommy Gunn earlier on. We'll skim through the race director just in case if we need to later on, which I think we probably will do, and then we will have a look at the pit stops just in case, and then we'll be back for the post-race interviews. We will see you in a bit. Hello everyone and welcome back to LSI F1.5 Championships. We're today for the post-race interviews of the USA Grand Prix. Gilly, that was pretty tricky. The sprint race wasn't ideal. Got thrown around about in that one. But in the end, from pretty much last to a podium position, are you happy with the final result in the feature race?
Very happy with that. I was quite stressed out hoping for a safety car because I was on those hards for ages and there was a lot of stuff that I avoided, but over there I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, well done. You deserve that. You deserve that. You drove well. It's a shame for the issues, of course, but it's what it is. Mexico, do you like the track more than the USA?
No.
Fair enough.
Low wings though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. A track that suits you. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Our home race.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done to get a Haas on the podium.
Thank you.
And we move on to Blake. Blake, in the sprint race, you had a pretty good few overtakes. Some very, very good sense. Nicely done from you. On that tyre, you made the right call to do that. The feature race didn't go quite to plan. Can you take us through that briefly?
Yeah, so turn 1 on the, I think it was a sprint race, someone decided to take it 4 wide. I had nowhere to go, and then just absolutely, I got a 5-second penalty from that. I had to fight my way back up, and then on the last lap, yeah, I do those sends on Breeza, which I think if anyone was in my situation, they'd do the same thing, which I don't know why. They can be mad at me all they want, and really, I don't care. And the feature race didn't go well. Vale tried to wreck me, did wreck me. Then, I got brake checked under the safety car a few times too. So.
Yeah, all going to be investigated, so nothing we can do on track about that. I do apologise for your side of what happened. I will get to the bottom of it. That's all I can really say. So just need to make sure that we stay calm, don't insult anybody unnecessarily, and keep it civil. The next one, Mexico. Do you like the circuit?
Yeah, it's a pretty good track.
Awesome, awesome. I hope it can go a bit better there next time. One last question. How would you describe your sprint race in 3 words?
Good overtakes.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time on the Today. Benjamin, you've done it. From last to first in the EU drivers, you do take the win. Of course, this is Val being a higher tier driver. That was pretty good in the end. I bet the good internet was definitely what played a part in that.
I didn't know where the tyre warm up, as you know, Aaron, but yeah, I didn't make the sprint because I was out, so I had no practice. Just grabbed a setup and joined, so I was pretty slow for the first few laps. Then got a bit of a rhythm. I think it was the safety car Breezer yoinked me into a wall. I kind of lost a bit of mojo and I kind of sort of dropping back. I was in like 10th for ages, longer than I know. Then eventually got onto the back of Gilly and Epic. Then I got past Gilly with a nice lock up into the side of him. That was lovely. And then had basically, I thought, an easy victory because they were needed to pit still. And I had Robbo behind by 3 seconds and a 6-second penalty, so I thought I could cruise. And then, buddy, safety car gods granted another one, so I had to tough battle with Cohen until the end, who had a bit more pace than me. So, yeah.
Still gave him a good run though, so well done. You deserve that. That was a really good job extending the championship lead. By the way, everybody, he is in a McLaren, even though he was driving a Red Bull today. Mexico, do you like the circuit? Not really, or?
Well, I don't really like America, and I liked it today, but Mexico I do like, so hopefully I get a better result.
Awesome, awesome. I hope it. I hope it does go to plan. No sprint race though, but yeah, still well done today. One last question: how would you describe your race in 3 words?
2?
3 or 2?
I say we're cutting down now. The Benjamin way.
Awesome. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. And we move on to Heisler. Heisler wasn't ideal. There was a couple of issues. You had good pace, but didn't go to plan.
Yeah, I don't really know how to say sometimes about The level of driving, let's say it like that. Yeah, most of I wasn't consistent. That's for sure. But sometimes you also get just fucked over by other things.
Yeah. Obviously we did see it, so it was pretty crazy, and I do apologise to you for that one. Nothing we can do about it now, other than just make the reports,
Wait,
and
what?
then we can.
Did
sort
you
out.
guys see the Igor incident with me?
Didn't see the incident itself. We saw the run up to it, but didn't see the actual
Oh,
incident
okay.
itself. So we'll need footage on that one.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard.
The next race, it's of course Mexico. You like the circuit more than USA?
Yeah, most people don't agree, but I feel like it's not really that different from USA, except it's a bit less downforce. So yeah, I like this circuit, and I like Mexico probably as well, just because of those S's.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. I hope it goes better there, of course. One last question: how would you describe your race in 3 words?
Yeah, I got killed.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. And we move on to MGS. MGS didn't go to plan. You joined for the feature race. Didn't actually get to race in the. Oh wait, no. Did you race in the sprint? Did you join mid quali?
I did.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't recall.
Into the sprint. Wasn't ideal overall. Can you take us through that one?
I had an amazing run up to turn 1. Great start. Pretty opportune. Anyways, it was pretty good so far. And then the Ferrari just came down and moved down on me like I was invisible, and running me off. And then that was just my race for the sprint.
Yeah. Onto the feature.
That was almost the same,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, just keep it short. Fair enough. Move on to the next one, I guess. Mexico, do you like the circuit more than USA? Or not so much?
I do like it more, but I feel like it's also the same as what one of the other drivers said.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, the curbs are going to be pretty tricky there as well, so we'll have to see how it goes.
Yep.
Yeah, but sorry that it didn't go the way you wanted it to go, but still, thank you very much. One last question: how do you describe your race in 3 words?
I'm not invisible.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Well done today. And we move on to Curran. Curran, great pace today. Almost pole position. It didn't quite work out in the end. You won the sprint race at least, but the feature race just didn't quite get it.
No, in the feature race I was leading for like, I think 18 laps or something, but the safety cars, they ruined my race. I think if there were no safety cars I could have won, but yeah, unfortunately taking P3 I think. Quite happy with that, so yeah.
Yeah, really
It's a
bad
shame.
timing as well for all those safety cars.
Yeah, every time I crossed I drove past the pit lane, so couldn't go in, and it's just a harsh one. But I'm still happy with the win in the sprint race.
Yeah, well deserved though. That sprint race was really good from you, so well done.
Thank you.
On to the next one, Mexico. Do you like that circuit more than USA? Do you think you could, if you race, maybe convert it into a win?
I like them both actually. I think Mexico is a very good track as well. So yeah, I'm excited to drive there.
Awesome. Can't wait. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Just unlucky. I don't know, 3 words.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.
Thank
Well done
you.
today.
Thank you.
And we move on to Mizzy. Mizzy, that was pretty tough, pretty hectic. The strategy was pretty mad as well. Can you take us through that one?
So yeah, in the sprint race especially, I spun very early on, so that made me start at the back, kinda like P9. But in the race I moved up because few people crashed or went into the pits and stuff like that. And at the end I was in the lead of the race for a bit as well, but I decided to pit under a safety car for the softs. and I got stuck behind the hat for like, till the end of the race, so I couldn't really get past. They were pretty quick on the straights in the corner as well, so yeah, I just couldn't get past on the soft and P5 or whatever. So I think it's a decent result for my first race, and I'm looking forward.
Yeah, it was pretty tough, and it's also a pretty tough track, so I don't think you should feel too worried about that one. And yeah, still, well done to get through the first race. Well done to get through USA Grand Prix. It was really good from you, and also no time penalties as well. So really well done there. The next one, Mexico, a second chance, the second race you can really kind of put your foot down a bit more. Do you like that circuit?
I love Mexico actually. I think I'm pretty quick there. It's one of my best circuits for sure, and I practice there quite a bit on this game as well. So I'm looking for a good result.
Awesome, that's good news. I like that. Awesome. Well, one last question: how would you describe your race in 3 words?
Not so good.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. And that's been it for the post-race interviews. Thank you very much for watching, and we will move on to Zingy.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching the absolutely hectic race. That was mental. Join us on Tuesday for the practice lobbies, as we'll be doing those Tuesday evening, BST, and join us Friday and Saturday for the LSI Championships too. Anyway, well, that's been it from us, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.